Now, you probably remember this, but Brett Kavanaugh's Supreme Court confirmation was one of the most contentious in American history. He faced multiple accusations of inappropriate behavior, including drunken misconduct and sexual assault. But after he was cleared by the FBI, he managed to get just enough Senate votes to be confirmed to the Supreme Court. But now, a year later, the New York Times has dropped a bombshell story that has put Kavanaugh back in the spotlight.
Tonight, new questions about a new report, another sexual assault allegation against Justice Brett Kavanaugh. This one reportedly never pursued by the FBI. The New York Times publishing the previously unreported account of Max Stier, one of Kavanaugh's former Yale classmates.
Kavanaugh's former Yale classmate told senators and the FBI that he saw Mr. Kavanaugh with his pants down at a drunken dorm party where friends pushed his genitals onto a female student.
God damn. Every high school story or every college story we hear about Brett Kavanaugh just makes him seem worse and worse. And it's always something about him exposing himself. He's lucky that Mike Pence's wasn't around during his college career, because you've seen what they do to carrots, y'all. And you know, when you hear stories like this, it's hard to believe that someone like that could ever go on to the Supreme Court. It must be even harder for people who actually went to school with Kavanaugh. Can you imagine their conversations? It's like, hey, whatever happened to balls out Brett? And it's like, actually, it's Justice balls out Brett now. Now, here's the thing. This story is messy. Right? And what makes it messy is that the woman who this allegedly happened to says she doesn't remember any of this happening. But the guy who says he saw it says that she was so drunk at the time, he's not surprised that she can't remember it. And we may never know for sure what happened that night, especially since the FBI never even investigated it, which may seem like a surprise to some people, but according to the New York Times, the FBI didn't look into a lot of the accusations against Kavanaugh.
The incident echoes a similar but separate allegation made by Deborah Ramirez, who came forward last year accusing Kavanaugh of exposing himself to her at a Yale party.
In his denial, Kavanaugh claimed that had the incident happened, it would have been the talk of campus. Now, the New York Times is reporting on evidence that it was the talk of campus. Per the Times, at least 7 people heard about the Yale incident long before Kavanaugh was a federal judge.
Ms. Ramirez's legal team gave the FBI a list of at least 25 individuals who may have had corroborating evidence, but the Bureau interviewed none of them.
Man, this story just keeps getting more and more strange. The FBI ignored 25 former Yale students who could have given evidence? It's insane. Because I didn't know the police also ignored white people. That's some crazy shit. Yale and the Bronx, who would have known? Now, in the FBI's defense, the reason they didn't interview these potential witnesses was because the White House reportedly told the FBI that when it came to Kavanaugh and the accusations, they were only allowed to interview 11 specific people and no one else. Yeah, which is not something you do when you're confident in someone's innocence, right? You just be like, interview anyone, but here you're like, just them, just them. Yeah, it's like Jeffrey Epstein saying, I have nothing to hide, look anywhere, except the sex dungeon, don't look in the sex dungeon, yeah. And Pedophile Island, don't look there, don't look there. But anywhere else, anywhere else. And by the way, if these stories are true, why the hell was Kavanaugh constantly whipping his dick out at parties? Can we ask that question? No, just like every single story. He's doing it at high school parties, he's accused of doing it at college parties. I'm starting to wonder if Kavanaugh even understands what parties are. Like, does he just show up to his grandma's birthday party? Happy 90th, Nana! It's like, no, Brett!